Hey guys, how you doing? Evylyn here and welcome to another video. So guys, a lot of you have been asking me for a while for a rogue guide for Subtlety spec, and I've held it off for quite a while, but here it is guys, I'm delivering today. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video, and yeah, let's get into it. So first off, we're going to start with the spec I use, and I'm going to explain why I use the spec I use. First off, you got Night Stalker, which increases your damage while stealthed, but unfortunately that's only when you come out of stealth. So once you're out of stealth, you pretty much, that doesn't work for Shadow Dance here, so it's not really worth viable in my opinion. Shadow Focus is quite nice if you like to basically start off with a kidney rather than a cheap shot, but I personally prefer a cheap shot because it allows you to open a kidney afterwards with a shadow step or something like that. So we start off with Subterfuge in the first talent, and the main reason I picked this is because it allows you to get a garrote and a cheap shot opener. Now if you look at Singularity Bane, it does 20% damage more when you have bleeds up. So if you garrote, cheap shot, you're good to go, 20% more damage before you even burst it. The next part is combat readiness. I've chosen on this talent is because it's like a shield wall sort of. After a few seconds you just stick it up and you're good to go. Nerve Strike is also a good other option, but it doesn't really stack with your poisons, so it's not the best idea. Deadly Throw is okay if you're going to be fighting two casters, but I feel combat readiness would be a bit better because of the fact that it would just reduces the damage you take by so a lot. Now a lot of rogues have gone for Cheat Death. Now Cheat Death is quite nice, but I feel in arena, especially when you're getting kited or trained by two targets, 30% extra reduced damage on you is quite a lot and can help the hero, especially at any time. It's like a mini shield wall for rogues, and I feel it's the best choice of the lot, especially in arenas. Leeching Poison I don't really like because it takes up your mind-numbing poison, and most of the time, in fact every time you're going to be fighting the casters unless it's in twos. Cloak and Dagger has kind of been nerfed to 20 yards, and it's also not usable inside Shadow Dance. That being said, that means it's no longer viable as a talent. It can be quite good as Night Elf Rogue because you can use visibility a bit more, but Shadow Step is on 24-second cooldown, 25 drive range, and increases your movement speed against targets that are running away from you. Not to mention you can use this to get away somebody by shadow stepping to your healer and getting around the corner to get another stealth off and go back into the group and start off fighting again. Burst of Speed I don't really like because it doesn't remove roots anymore. Paralytic Poison is pretty good, and I do sometimes switch with this depending on what I'm fighting. If I know I'm going to peel more, I'll use Paralytic Poison, but generally most of the time I use Prey on the Weak because it increases the damage the target takes by an extra 10%. Dirty Tricks is good in duels, but other than that I wouldn't really recommend it. The next line, Anticipation, let's not even talk about this one. This one's PvE. Mark for Death is really good in arena if used right, especially on targets because it's like an extra viscerate for 100k. So I personally prefer Mark for Death, but I will occasionally use Shuriken Toss depending on if I'm fighting two casters or two ranged. Okay, so let's go with the Glyphs. The ones I use currently at the moment is Cheap Shot, increases the duration of Cheap Shot by 1 second. Garrote, which increases the silence on Garrote by 1 second. And Glyph of Blind, which removes all dots and blinds on the target. Because if you blind a target, you obviously don't want leads to tick and accidentally knock out the blind and waste your CC basically. The gems I've gone for the purple gem would be for blue sockets would be 80 agility, 80 PP power, and for my red gems I've gone for 160 agility, and for my yellow sockets I've gone for 80 agility, 160 mastery. In fact, it's probably the exact same as my warriors gems, but the only difference is it's agility instead of strength. Now that being said, I've gemmed it through that way through the whole lot. For the sockets, as you can see, I've gone red and it's a good little setup. And obviously for the meta gem I use 216 agility and 3% increased crit. These are all really good choices and I like them the best. Now obviously people are wondering what the best spec for rogues is at the moment. with a load of nerfs to Subtlety, the main one being Find Weakness. It now does only 50% damage against players on armor instead of 70%. Now, while that is a nerf, yes, it doesn't mean Subtlety still can't hit hard, which I'll show you guys in a moment. But before we get into that, I just wanted to show you the stats I use. As you can see, I don't really go high on expertise because most of the time you're going to be behind the target. I've stacked mastery as much as I can, and I've gone for a bit of PvP power while having a high crit chance and the hit cap. I've also got a pretty decent haste. I'm going to show you guys a couple of macros I use on my rogue. This is my Shadow Dance 1 minute one shot macro, which isn't as strong as using Shadow Blades with it, but it's pretty decent and it can be used every minute. The main one's being my kick macro, which cancels our hand of protection if you're bopped. Also kicks, and if you're out of range, it uses redirect. Generally, I will use this on a ranged target rather than using it on anyone else. Next we have Shadowmeld, which basically just casts Shadowmeld and then makes you go invisible as if you used a vanish. This is only available to Night Elf rogues, unfortunately, but it's a good choice if you are a Night Elf rogue. My focus Tricks of the Trade macro / cast focus Tricks of the Trade, and then it will automatically Tricks of the Trade your focus, increase their damage quite a bit. My Premeditation ambush macro, this is just so I can have Premeditation come up at any time when I need it to come up, in case I haven't already used my Slice and Dice at any point. Same with Cheap Shot, exact same thing. Expose armor macro, this macro is actually pretty decent. This one, especially in duels, all you have to do is mouse over your target while you sap them, press the button twice, and then don't press it 3 times, only twice, then re-stealth. Once you've re-stealthed and get 4 or 5 combo points, instantly you Slice and Dice and then just do massive amount of damage, because basically you're going to have 5 combo points and you won't have to worry about Slice and Dice pretty much for the whole time. Focus Blind is pretty good as well. Like, obviously if you want to see a target but don't want another target in them, this is a good option there. Focus Disarm, just disarm the target, especially pretty good like that. Same as the ambush and Cheap Shot, go out with Premeditation. Focus Gorge, if you want to just quickly gorge a target but not continue to nuke your target on. My Recuperate, which uses my any health stones or my life spirit or any health potions you might have, and recuperate. My sap macro, this one's actually pretty good. I like this one. This is where it just targets the nearest any player, saps them, and basically you don't have to target them yourself. You just spam that and you're good to go. My other macro is my DPS macro, which uses my Lifeblood because I'm an alchemist. Uses Shadow Dance, Shadow Blades, my trinkets, and uses any combo points I might have on another target and cast redirect to that target, allowing me to burst and do as heavy damage as I can, as quick as I can. Now guys, you guys want to see a rotation going here, so let's get a rotation going for you guys. So first up, obviously like normal, you're going to want to use Premeditation, Slice and Dice, then you want to like grot the target, wait a second, Cheap Shot, Ambush, Rupture, then just spam your Hemo till you get 5, Kidney Shot it, backstab a couple of times. This is just to create pressure, this is not, and then just eviscerate. It's pretty okay DPS, that's over 1 million damage, like just without actually having to do any particular burst or pop CDs or anything like that. And the target's disabled, so people will probably not really be too aware that you're actually hitting them pretty hard, just because the fact that they will be expecting CDs with that. Now if you feel like you really want to open hard on someone after that, you could then vanish, blind, and then open with the burst rotation, which I'm going to show you guys in a second. But that's just the basic rotation. Okay, so guys, for the 1 minute burst rotation, you obviously want to start off with Premeditation on the target, you Slice and Dice, you Garrot, Cheap Shot, Shadow Dance, Ambush, Eviscerate, Ambush, Ambush, Eviscerate, Mark for Death, and then Eviscerate. The 1 minute burst is sometimes not strong enough, especially on some targets, and obviously that's where Shadow Blades comes in. But that being said, it is good enough to kill somebody on 75% health, especially in arenas, so just be aware of that, guys. Okay, so guys, for the burst rotation it's a little different, but just remember that you are going to be spec'd for subterfuge, so there's no need to just start bursting in straight away after you've used Garrote. The idea is to just get the blade up to increase your damage by 20%, spec for Prey in the week to increase your damage by an extra 10%, making a 30% increased damage. Okay, so first off, the proper burst rotation with Shadow Blades is going to be Premeditation, Slice and Dice, Garrote, Wait for Subterfuge, Cheap Shot, Ambush, up all TDs, Eviscerate, Ambush, Ambush, Eviscerate, Mark for Death, Eviscerate. That's the proper burst rotation for a rogue, and that should knock anyone out in seconds. If you don't finish them at that point, you can still backstab a few couple of times to get your points up, and then kidney shot and continue to backstab. But that being said, it's not really needed, because at that point they will be dead. You're going to hit them 3 times a couple of times for over 100k damage in seconds, and I feel that is a really strong rotation. Keep in mind, guys, some of them didn't crit, so the damage was quite a lot if they all crit. Unfortunately, it doesn't always happen all the time, but remember, when you're in groups with other people, you're going to have a bit more crit because you might have kings for more agility, you might have crit buff from a druid, or you might have anything like that. So the more crit you get, the better, but mastery is still the main stat to go for as a Subtlety Rogue because of the amount of damage it increases on your finishers. You can try to stack a little less mastery and go for a bit more crit just to get that 25%, which probably might not be a bad idea, but I would mainly stick with mastery because it just, your finishers won't hit as hard otherwise. Anyways, guys, that was my Rogue 5.3 guide. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and if you did, remember to hit the video with a like, maybe leave a comment, any suggestions you might give, and hopefully you had a little bit more wiser for 5.3 with rogues. Also hit the subscribe button if you want to see more stuff like this. Anyways, guys, before we finish this video up, I wanted to make a little mention that I'm actually going to be uploading in between videos my leveling videos on US, and I'm going to have a few battlegrounds coming up on them as well, so hopefully you guys enjoy them. Some battlegrounds I did while I was leveling with Easters. It was quite fun. So the next video out should be out either tomorrow or the next day, hopefully. And I've also took that your suggestions, you've been asking for more videos, and I'm going to try my best to provide more videos for you guys. So hopefully I'm going to try to upload at least 4 videos a week, maybe 5, we'll see what happens. I'm going to keep pushing for more and more videos if you guys keep wanting more videos. So yeah, thank you guys. Before we finish the video, I just remembered one thing. We passed 800 subscribers, guys. Oh my god, that is freaking awesome. You guys are so good to me. I don't know really what to say. Our channel has grown so much since we started this channel only 8 months ago. Thank you very much, guys, for all the support you've shown me, and I really do appreciate it. With that being said, I'm actually going to try to make a montage for 800 subscribers. It feels like it was only a couple of weeks ago I was on 700. Oh my god. Anyways, guys, thank you very much. This is Evylyn. I love you all. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.